Hey everybody, so today I want to work on a ficus tree. It's a tree that I always want to tell you guys how long I've had trees, and I don't know if it's that necessary. Let me know in the comments if that's something that's important to you guys or not, or if you like it that I tell you guys. So anyway, I have a ficus tree here. It's a ficus benjamina. It's a standard ficus benjamina. It's not anything super special except that it comes from a really old tree. It is a cutting. I have been growing this for a little while. I don't remember how long. Probably a year, over a year, just over a year, maybe 2 years. It was a taller tree, as you can see right here. It did have a trunk that went straight up, like a lot of the benjaminas that I have. Got a couple more here. These are straight trunks as well. This one's got a straight trunk into a double trunk or a straight trunk into a branch. Not sure yet what I want to do with that one. I did bring these two trees in here for a reason. I'll get to that in here in just a second. So this tree, it had some issues from last winter. The trunk actually died back and this branch survived. So I nurtured this branch, got it going really nicely. It's got a lot of ramification, a lot of leaves on it. It's got a couple of branches that I don't typically like keeping the branches that are two branches at one, or right at the base of a branch like this. How it's right at the base of this branch, and then this branch is kind of in that same area. So it almost has four branches right here, really. Or, two trunks and two branches coming off the bottom here. And then obviously this one's pretty close to it. So I really do like having the really close inner nodes, or the nodes on this tree. I know that I worked on that, but I didn't think like I'm going to cut this back to get this and cut this back to get this. I was just maintaining and trimming to keep the tree healthy for a while. I was thinking all the root over rock videos that I've done, I really want to do a tree over tree video. So that's what these other trees are for. So I'm thinking I'm going to put the roots from one of these two trees over the top of this trunk or around this trunk. And I'm going to make the roots, all the roots go into the soil. I'll probably put it in a different pot than this and then grow both the trees as one tree, but they'll be, two separate trees. So we'll get different growth out of this one than we will out of this one or that one. But the thing is, these two trees for sure came from the same mother plant that I got from my great-grandmother, I don't know how many years ago. And I'm pretty sure that this tree came from a tree that my mom has now that she's growing as a house plant, but secretly I'm growing it as a bonsai. Shh. But she really likes it, and it's a really large tree as comparative to most of the bonsai trees that I do. So really it is kind of a house plant, but it's a large bonsai tree too. So we've been working together on that one for a while, and I think that branch actually, or that tree, was a branch from that tree. And the reason why I say that is if you can tell, the trunk on both of these trees is a very light color. These ficus benjaminas, their bark turns like a lighter color as they age and as they mature, and so is this one. It's really light color. A tree this size should have really dark brown bark, just like this one. So it is starting to lighten up, but this has still got a darker color to it. So I'm pretty sure this is a younger tree. So I think I'm going to put this one aside and do something else with this. Nice healthy tree, nothing wrong with it, except that this one's going to match this one much better. So I don't want to talk too much. I kind of want to just really get into this and get working on it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull out my tub to collect the soil. And this tree has been in this pot for a little while, but not a long time. So the roots are established and they're nice. We got a nice root mat across the bottom here, which is great. And of course I have a screen in here, so I'm going to pull that out and rip the bottom roots off, of course, like I always do, because that actually helps prune the roots on the tree a little bit faster. I mean, because I'm just pulling them off, and that's quite all right. These trees can handle that. I know I've done a lot of videos on repotting the ficus benjaminus, so I'm not going to go into detail on what I'm doing to repot in the aspect of just repotting. I will go through the aspect of putting the tree on the other tree. I've never done this before. I just thought it would be a really cool thing to try, because I've done a lot of root over rock trees and a few videos on it as well. So I figured let's do something crazy. And I thought at one point I thought of doing like two totally different trees, species, like a ficus and a sarissa, or a sarissa over ficus, or you know, something really crazy like that. And who knows, I might do that down the road. But this setup, I think I'm going to do just these two trees. And like I said, I repotted this not too long ago, so the soil came right out. But it does have a really nice bit of roots. I'm not going to disturb the roots too much, other than just taking the soil out of it. And we'll get more soil back in there. But I kind of want these roots to kind of intertwine with these roots and make it like it is one tree eventually, and it should start growing together. And I'm kind of wondering if this area right here, if I scored it or open that up and put this tree against it, if it would actually fuse together. And I think it will, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to leave this covered and protected like it is. So I'm going to go ahead and set this guy aside. I've had a couple of comments about leaving the trees out of the soil too long, and I'll be honest, I've never had an issue with that. I have had an issue with repotting trees and not doing the proper aftercare and having issues like that, but I've never had an issue with just leaving one of these trees out like that. So I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to take the soil out of this tree. And this one didn't have a screen on the bottom, so I am going to have to trim the roots on the bottom here. And we'll go ahead and just see what these look like. And the pot that I'm actually using, I kind of want to tell you guys about this. This little bowl here, it was used as a noodle bowl. Had a film over the top, noodles and the sauce and whatnot's in there, and my brother really likes these things, so I just put a whole bunch of holes in the bottom. It's a good size. I mean, it's about the same size as the pot that the other tree was in, maybe a little even a little bit bigger. And I mean, it's not exactly free because my brother bought the noodles, but I mean the pot's, I mean, it's practically free. And I really like to recycle and reuse things. So there you go. Reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? Let's all do our part to save the planet and save some money too, because I didn't have to buy a bonsai pot. So anyway, moving on. So I'm going to get the soil out of this tree, and I'm thinking that this tree has been in that for at least a year now. Mid to early spring or early summer. Last year, because of the soil that is in this pot here. I started using crushed granite. It comes in a bag at the I think it was Home Depot, either Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's a home improvement store if you don't know what that is. But anyway, it's crushed granite, and I started using that for a while, and it's not bad. I mean, it works just fine, but it's not exactly ideal. So I started using some other stuff, which is the turfus, pumice, and lava rock. And I've started using the cocoa bedding. It's a reptile bedding, but you can get it for plants. You can get it online. You can. I mean, it's very readily available. There's a few of my friends in England that use it. Gavin over at Not Another Bonsai channel. You can go check him out. He's a great guy. He uses it, and I can't remember what else he uses, but yeah, if you go check out his channel, he'll tell you all about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way, and I got all kinds of stuff going on over here right now. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is see what they look like together. And if I put this just right up on here. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer here and show you what this looks like. So I've got enough roots on this little tree that I can take off these really large roots right here, even this larger roots, leave this one because it kind of curls around anyway here, and leave these smaller roots on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to see about using my root pruning scissors. See if these will work getting in here. I think I can get this one off without damaging anything else. And these are just some shears that I've had for a long time and just came across them. I've been doing some work out here in the workshop. I had a whole bunch of stuff in boxes from when I moved out here to Florida from Colorado. So I've been going through some stuff and figuring things out and came across this. So I figured I'd use them as root pruning scissors. Alright, so I'm going to just separate these roots out just a little bit. See if I can get in here a little bit better to cut some more of this off. I might use these guys. I don't like using these because these are my nicer branch cutters. I don't want to ruin them, but I really want to get a sharp cut on this so that it heals over nicely. Looks like I got a good sharp cut on there. And then I'm going to see about this bit here. I'm going to use concave cutters. I need to do some work on these concave cutters though. Do some sharpening and alright, so there's that. I think those roots look a little bit better now. You can see in there it's got a good, I think it's got a good spot right here that I can put over the top of the tree right here. So I'm going to go ahead and see what that looks like here. It kind of opened up that side anyway. Kind of like this. And then I'm going to let this tree reestablish its roots. So I'm going to try and let the roots establish and get nice and solid in the pot before I do any wiring on this. But I think what I might do is I might wire this a little bit. I might just let this grow upwards and wire these branches out. Not sure. Might just actually cut this branch off because it's like going right up into the tree. Because I cut it on this side, so the branch started going that way. So that puts it going right into the tree. So I'm going to take that branch off. It's no problem either because that turns into a new tree. I mean, even something that small, that turns into a new tree, which is awesome. That's one of the reasons why I really like the ficus trees. Not just the Benjaminas, but most of the ficus trees you can do that with. You can just get a cutting and they'll just grow a new tree from that cutting. So I'm going to wrap this branch, or this root, around the trunk like that. And then I'm going to try and wrap this root around the front. And then these ones, this one here, will just kind of go straight down with the rest of these roots. Down here like this, or, yep, I'm going to have to take that one off. I just broke it. It's okay. That's okay. These roots grow fast, like I've told you many, many times. It would have been kind of nice to have a little bit larger root right there, but these roots will thicken up pretty quick. They do well. These trees in the wild, a lot of times they call them temple trees because they'll grow over the ancient temples in the rainforest, and they'll grow over rock faces and stuff like that. So these do really good with like root over rock style plantings. So what do you guys think of that? Can't quite see it really good there, but you can kind of see right up in this section where I'm, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think that'll kind of make that tree look interesting as well. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I really like that. I'm wondering, excuse me, I think I might try, yeah, I don't think that looks bad at all. I think there's plenty of room for that. Yeah, I think there's plenty of room for that. I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in this pot. Got a little spider. I don't hate spiders, but I don't want them falling on me and biting me. So, but it's cool if they're in here because there's bugs in here and they can eat the bugs all they want. All right, so I've got the screen in the bottom here. I don't know if I really need to secure this that tightly. I have something. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this ribbon or plastic tape, whatever it is. I think it's for like construction and stuff, but it was really inexpensive, and I got it for something other than bonsai trees. But I'm gonna see how this works because it is stretchy. Like it's not really stretchy, but it's stretchy enough that I think I can use it to wrap around this and hold this tree to this other tree just nicely. And I think later on, as this tree grows, I might do a root over rock with the whole thing going over a pile of rocks or something like that. Do like a pinging. I actually looked that up today because for some reason I didn't know what that meant. So pinging, if you don't know what that means, is a tree planting. I think it's Chinese. The word is actually a Chinese word. It's a tree planting or a plant planting that is a scenery. It's not just a tree. It's not just a bonsai, but it's a whole scenery. So, and I didn't know that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. One of the guys that I talked to on WhatsApp, another bonsai artist, he was talking about doing the pinging, and so I looked it up, and I think that's really cool. And I think it's really cool now I know what that means, so I can I can be part of a conversation when we're talking about that now, instead of just, oh yeah, that's great, you know. So, okay, so I'm gonna wrap this around just a couple of times, just to get the roots to grow down over the other tree here. And I don't want to wrap up all the roots that aren't going to be in the dirt, so I want them to grow and go down into the dirt. This doesn't have to be really tight. At least I'm not going to make it really tight. I kind of want it to look natural, like the roots just kind of, this tree fell over or whatever onto this tree and just started growing onto it. Maybe we could do something to where the tree is like actually laying down and then growing upwards on here, but I could later on bend this tree to look like that though. So I think I might just leave it like this. I'm going to leave some of this part exposed so that we can see exactly what I did, at least for a while. Because obviously this is going to grow and these roots are going to get bigger and you're not going to be able to tell really what is going on here. It'll just look like one tree. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to keep it looking like it's not just one tree. I can make it actually look like it's two trees and keep it looking like that. Now if my fingers will work and I can tie this again, that would be great. There we go. Alright, so I got it tied twice. And that's definitely secure on there. I think I'm just going to leave these long. It's no big deal. And this isn't going into a show. So the only thing is the tree kind of falling off the other tree here. Here we go. Yeah. Alright, so that's what it looks like now. And these are part of the roots from this tree going down here into the soil, and then these roots over here, and then these roots right here are going down into the soil. Pull off some of the roots. So yeah, this is looking good. And this is that big root that I was talking, nope, this is the bigger root that I was talking about going down in here. So just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to put this in the pot. Just get it potted back up for you guys. Back in here. I'm going to wiggle it a little bit down into the soil, just like that. So kind of like this root sticking up. That's going to be part of the root over rock later on. So I might move this over and kind of spread this out just a little bit more. Actually, I think I'm going to make sure that these roots are all separate. There we go. Now I'm thinking I might want a bigger pot so that I can make sure. Let's just go all out. Let's just go all out. I've got nothing but time. Be right back. Alright, so I showed this in a previous video, I think, and if I didn't, well, there you go. I got this at a thrift store. I don't know what it is or what it was supposed to be, but I saw the side and I thought, man, that would be a really cool pot. So I'm going to look and see if this will fit in here. It does look like it'll fit. And then I can put the rock in here and put this actually on. I think I can put this on a rock now. I don't think I can. I don't think the roots are long enough yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in this pot. And I'm going to move it to the side over here. And I'm going to move this out and let the roots grow a little bit longer. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back. I don't know if I can do this right now or not. don't think I can. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this rock either. Just kind of looking at some stuff here. I like kind of getting an idea of what I want to do and then build the tree to fit the idea of what I want to do, instead of, you know, just grabbing a tree and throwing it onto a rock because that's what I've got. I really like this rock. I think this rock would be really cool with a tree on it. I also kind of think that this rock would be just kind of cool in a planting, so that you can see the rock. I really like this rock too. That's a really cool rock. This could fit right up in there like that. I could plant it deep in the soil to where everything fits. And then later on, I can raise that up out of the soil, you know, and put it like to where the roots are longer, and I can put the roots like where the rock is up here. I'm kind of wondering if I want to do something to where it's sitting on a rock with another rock. Alright, so I've got these rocks that I can use for a planting. This is that one that I thought about using, but I think I'm going to use that for something else. I've got this rock. I'm kind of thinking of something else for that rock too. I kind of want to put a tree in here, like a smaller tree. Do some other kind of pinching style setup. I really like this. I think I like this one. See if you guys can see it a little bit better in the light here. That's a really cool rock, and that fits. Put this one underneath and put this one like this, and then have the roots grow around that and around this, and then put this on top of the soil. Yeah. Alright, so now that I've got you guys all busy from moving the camera around, I think I might do this. Do it kind of like this. And have the tree sit on this rock, and then have this rock next to it like this. You guys can see that, right? Move you down a little bit. Alright, hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, so check this out. I think this is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to do the tree on top of this rock, then have this rock next to it, and then work the roots around this rock. And I'll put this under the soil. I'll put it in the soil probably about to here, so that this can grow and this all can grow down. And then it'll just kind of form to the rocks. And then once that happens, then we'll repot it to where this is the soil level, and all of this is just sitting on top of the soil. Okay, so one thing I am going to do is there's a root right here that's going to grow right against this rock and push it out of the way eventually, and I don't want that. And then there's another root right here, if you can see that, another root right here that I think I'm going to cut back as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these cutters. I'm going to cut this root off here. Get that guy out of the way. And there is another larger root right here. I'm trying to think if I want to get rid of that one or not. So it kind of fits like right along the side of this rock. Yeah, I'm going to cut that one off too. Just, I don't want to have an issue later on. there's another large root right here that is going to grow. Let me see where it goes to. I'm going to put this stuff on the turntable so you can kind of spin it around here. Just like that. Alright, so this other rock, or this other root, these roots are going to stay here. This other root, thinking I might, yeah, I think that'll be okay, because I think these roots will go down around the rock here, and then this root will just give it stability on this rock. And honestly, that stays like right where it's supposed to on these rocks, which is awesome. So I'm going to kind of move these roots around. Let me use my pick here to kind of move these roots to where they need to be on this rock in the right directions so that they'll grow down into the soil. I can pull out the weed roots while I'm doing this. Make sure that everything is going in the right direction so that later on it's not going to cause a problem. And then these roots that are on top of the rock will definitely eventually grow down into the soil next to the rock and over the rock as well. And then these ones will grow down and around, and later on we can, I think later on we can come back in and trim these up, but I might really look at those now. Use my glasses because I'm getting old, so can't see nearly as good as I used to. Alright, so I am going to trim a couple of these pieces off the top here because I want this root to look like it's growing down into the soil next to this rock. I only want to leave the ones that are going to help and make this tree look like it's supposed to. Taking all the weeds out still. Alright, there's two right here. I want to take this little one out if I can keep from cutting the other one. There we go. Alright. Just like that works. Then these roots will grow down around this into the soil. This one I can kind of plant over here to where it kind of looks like it's growing down and around that way. Alright. Excited about this. This is going to be awesome. So I'm going to put some soil in the bottom of this pot. And I want to have enough underneath of these rocks for the roots to grow down into the soil. Actually, ideally, if I had a pot that was like that deep, this would work better, I think, but this will work just fine. We can gradually do this, and like I've told you guys a million times, these roots, they grow so fast and so nicely that this should just take care of itself pretty quickly, honestly. Alright, let's move this right here. Now we'll work the rocks to where we want them. I do need a little bit more soil under this rock. think I'm going to take this out for just a second. I'm going to add some more soil here. I know it looks like I'm adding a lot of soil to this, and I am. But this is where the roots are going to grow down into. So let me try and bring you guys in a little bit closer here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this all back in here again. Get it all situated. Everything at the right height and level. So I want this tree like on this rock. I want it solid on this rock, and I want this root solid on this rock as well. So I need to bring a little bit more soil in here. And I guess I could just lower the other rock down a little bit, but there we go. So now this, all right, just like that. So this is touching and this is touching, and now we just need to get the roots to go down into this soil. And now that I'm thinking about it, this soil is really coarse. Getting these roots down in here is going to be a little bit tougher. I think I'm going to put different soil. So I am going to keep this in the video. I'm going to show you guys that sometimes you got to redo things to make it work out right. I'm going to put the coarser stuff in the very bottom, just so that I don't have any drainage issues. And then I'm going to use this other soil here. Just the finer soil. Now that I'm thinking, I think I might try and situate these rocks with the roots underneath, with the roots underneath the rocks already. As I put them in here, kind of like that. A little bit more soil under that rock. A little bit more soil under this rock. Yeah, that looks better. That looks way better. All right, now I'm going to use my pick to make sure that all the roots are going the right direction. And use my tweezers to make sure the roots are going down into the soil. So I think it was about a year ago I did a root over rock with a ficus spingemina, a really large one, and I used some plastic tubing to get the tree to sit like it was supposed to in the pot. And I tried doing a video of me repotting that tree last week, and it did not work out so well. The tree's fine, everything went great, but the filming didn't go so good. For some reason, I don't know what reason, this camera that I've got did not want to stay filming. So I have none of it on film. I think I spent like a good hour and a half working on this tree, 2 hours. And like I said, the tree went great, but the filming just did not turn out. So you guys won't be able to see that work. I'll have to show you guys the tree though, because it did turn out really nicely, and I really like it. And the tubing, so that you guys know, it did work pretty much exactly the way I wanted it to. The root structure went where it was supposed to, and the tree, after taking all the tubing out, the tree stood up just fine. Kind of like what I said it was going to, because the roots thickened up and they filled in all the spaces that they needed to make the tree stand up on its own. So everything worked out really well. So this is the top of the rock right here. It is a little bit higher in the soil than I think I wanted at this early in this planting, but I think this is going to work out anyway. I'll put a little bit more under this rock so that everything fits right. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so I need to make some more soil. So here we go. I think I've shown this before, but it always seems like I have to cut the video out a lot, and it's like, hey, check this out, and then it's all done. So I figured I'd show you guys how I do this. I measure it out one to one, so it's actually 4 parts, but I use the same amount of each. And this bag is kind of flimsy, so gotta be careful not to spill it all over. And this is soil, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I just do this to get close. And then this is lava rock. And all of this stuff is actually in the wish list on in my Amazon, or it's in an Amazon wish list in the description on this video. So if this is something that you guys are looking to find and haven't found it yet, this is what I use, and it's all in the wish list, in my Amazon wish list in the description. So you can go check that out, and yeah, have the same kind of soil I do. Alright, so this part isn't, well, actually I will add this to the wish list description, in the description. This is the cocoa bedding. You can use like reptile or bedding. You can use plant based. I mean, it's for the stuff that is for plants. However you want to do it. I'll put whatever in the description so you guys can find it easier. And this stuff works really well. It's dry. Originally it's dry, and you add water to it, and hence the reason it's in the bucket. And it doesn't have to be perfectly dry when you do this, but it kind of helps if it's not saturated. I mean, this stuff is a little bit wetter than I need it to be, but it'll be all right. So basically I just shake the bucket. And I kind of, I don't know if you can even see in the bucket. Here, maybe. So you can see down in the bucket. See what I see. Maybe you can see what I see. I've never actually done this part before like this. I'm going to try it the other direction. Because you kind of tilt it away from you. So as you fling it up, it rolls down. You just want it well mixed. Okay, so got that all mixed up, and now we will continue on putting some more soil in here. Get this finished out. Make sure this tree is set down far enough. I don't know if this is going to be deep enough in the pot, but I want the roots to go down as deep in the soil as they possibly can at this point. Alright, so this is a little bit higher in the pot than I would like it to be. I do want to make sure that these roots are at least somewhat in soil. So I think I'm going to use some of the cocoa. I'm going to use some of this stuff, the cocoa fibers, and just put it, like really get in the roots with it. I'm going to take some of this soil back out. Okay, because most of this tree is just really sitting up on top of this rock here. So I want that to have plenty of moisture on these roots. So I'm going to work the cocoa fibers onto the roots here. And get it like nice and secured up here, because really that will kill this tree if I don't have it enough in the soil at this point, because it doesn't have any roots really going down into the pot yet. So I really need to make sure that this is covered up nicely and these roots are covered up and protected. And the cocoa fibers actually do kind of form, kind of like doing muck, but not as good, because I've seen the muck where you use the bonsai soil dust, and you mix it with like potting soil or what am I thinking? peat moss, decomposed peat moss, and you push it on, kind of like what I'm doing with this. So this is what I have. I don't have muck, and I don't really have any way of making it right this minute. So I'm just going to use this, and this should work just fine. It should hold moisture pretty well. And that's why they use this for animals and animal cages and stuff. I hope that you guys can see everything I'm doing. I'm kind of spacey. It's been a long day, like I said earlier. All right. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right. I don't know, I'm kind of wondering about up here. I think that should be fine. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to wet this down really good. Make sure that everything is watered in. As you can see, I can water this, and the cocoa fiber just kind of stays where it's at. And I will water up here whenever I'm watering, just to make sure that the top tree doesn't die as well, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of this, right? Kind of clean up the edge of the pot. Now I don't want to just water the cocoa fiber, so I'm going to make sure and lift this up so that I can see when it starts coming out the bottom. So I'm going to water this until it comes out the bottom. And the cocoa fibers actually really absorb water nicely. It holds moisture really nicely, and it also, the water runs through it really quickly like it's supposed to with bonsai, because you don't want something that is going to wick the water off the top. You know, you want the water to go into the tree's pot and onto the roots and all that. So cocoa fiber works really good for that. If you don't know what the cocoa fiber is, it's actually from coconuts. This is the fibrous part off the coconut, and they just grind it up to use it for reptile bedding and other stuff. It's kind of nice that they don't just, throw it all in the trash. They actually use it for something, and make a little bit more money off of it, and it's not wasted. Pretty close. It is starting to drip out the bottom. I'll let this drain for a little while, and then when I go put it in the greenhouse, I will water it again so that it is for sure watered down. All right, so now that I've got this all watered down and it's looking really nice, I am going to trim a couple of the leaves off. And later on, once this gets established, I think I might bend this up over in this section over here. But I'll wait, and we'll run wire down into all this stuff after it's really established and it's like solid. I don't want to bend anything until it's nice and solid. So I'm going to take off a couple of the really big leaves on the original larger tree. I'll take these leaves off to keep it from losing too much moisture out of the leaves right now, and to reduce some of the size of some of these leaves. I know I've told you guys this a million times, but I always take the leaf off at the base of the branch just to open up space for the new branch to grow. Probably shouldn't have taken my glasses off yet. Can't see a thing. There we go. Some of the larger leaves I will leave because I like to leave them until there's at least 2 leaves growing out, because that promotes the branch growing. If you take them off too early, then those 2 leaves aren't producing energy, and you definitely want everything that can produce energy to be producing energy. All right, like this one, I've got 1 leaf, 2 leaf, and starting a 3rd leaf right there. And then this one, I don't have anything growing on there because I don't know if I took them off or they fell off. This tree wasn't doing so good for a little while, and it is now doing better. So this should work out just fine. All right, where are we at? I think we're good. Nope, one more right here. That's the one that I was actually looking at this whole time, and there we go. So yeah, I've been looking at doing this for a while, and I'm really excited about this. Can't wait to see how this turns out. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Another great creation. So yeah, this is gonna be it for this video. Like I said earlier, you check out my wish list on Amazon. It's in the description. It's right underneath of the description of this tree. That'll be right there, and then there you go. So check that out, and that definitely helps me out with the channel, being able to get more trees and more product to be able to make more videos. Thanks for watching, everybody, and like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.